And it's time for, or not, for the first time, as it's been long trailed, Freedom Day.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm ready to be free.
I always love that. It's Freedom Day, and you just kind of go, yeah. Wait a minute. What were we doing before? Were we not free before? What did I lose? You know. Yeah. Well, you don't have to do this. No more restrictions. This another. You know. And he wants to call it living with COVID plan, which immediately harkens back to Beetlejuice, where they said, you know, living with the dead, and you know the manual they gave you. I just have this envision of this like suburban family looking off in the distance and the big COVID vaccine, or you know the virus is off there hovering over the horizon. Yeah, it's just I'm going to miss the whole you know the free COVID, you know the free tests they would pass out. What really bothers me, because I've been traveling lately. I was in America. I went to Helsinki last night and came back this morning. Is you know.
A humble brag?
Yeah, that's classic humble brag.
Josh is feeling rather humble, not humble, rather depressed actually. You were in Crouch End.
I was in Crouch. Actually, last night I was doing Up the Creek in Greenwich.
Oh, you made it. You made it to southwest London,
yeah.
southeast London. Southeast.
But what I hate the fact is, you know, okay, I've got all the jabs, I got the boosters and stuff, but I still got to pay for that lateral flow test. I still got to shell out 29 quid. Yeah. And it's almost like, then when they switched to the PCR test in December, it was almost like Boris's buddies who have cornered the market on this whole testing thing where you have to send it off to labs and stuff, kind of went, hey, Christmas is coming up. Boris, I could use a little money for the family. Okay, now we have to do the PCR test because it's 3 times more than the lateral flow. And you know, even if you tested positive, you're not going to get on the plane. I mean, I don't know. Just come on, just.
It feels like a racket, doesn't it?
It is a racket. It is a racket. It's a way to make, and they have made millions and millions of pounds. Yeah. Guys who would never have gotten involved with this before they're carpetbaggers. They're the guys selling shovels to the guys trying to be miners in Alaska. You know, they're not making. They're the ones making the money off the back of this.
Those restrictions are still in play. Even though they've dropped a lot of other stuff, the stuff about UK citizens travelling abroad, a lot of that stuff is still there.
It's still there. You know, so it's like Freedom Day, as long as you don't leave this area.
Well, you've got a beautiful wife and 5 children. If you chose to travel to France, Austria, Germany, Italy, it would cost you, I mean, the testing alone, you're looking at, what, 300-400 quid?
The thing is, I haven't really minded about this for the last couple of years because I've been so skint. But since being on GBNews, I can finally afford a holiday.
What?
So now I'm like, you better sort this out. Travel, UK. Now I'm getting radical.
Yeah, your pithy late-night commentary is taking you all the way to... Where are you
Euro
off to?
Disney.
Are you going to Geneva to check your bank account?
Oh, yeah, that's the dream. Yeah, via Euro Disney. That's where we're going. I'm very excited.
By the way, what's scarier, the Swiss bank accounts or Disney?
Yeah, God, which one is going to be harder to get into and which the queues are going to be longer as people now trying to take their money out?
Exactly right.
I'm a little bit worried, though, the whole sort of the Freedom Day thing, if this is coming into an end, which is obviously amazing news, and 85% of the country is vaccinated, and but I'm a bit worried about what that means for some people, because there are people who have been very pro what's happened the last couple of years, and they're sort of trying to cling on and go, hey, don't do it too quickly. But then there are some commentators, some people cutting up masks on air.
Those people are reprehensible. I mean, they shouldn't be in broadcasting.
What's going to be their next big thing?
What can they be angry about?
Yeah, they lose COVID to get to be.
I'm going to bring a team of 10 people in to write my monologues because there's nothing to say now that COVID's over.
You're just going to be like, you know, everything's good, all good.
Correct. I'll be like, a sheep got lost in Wales today. She's called Snowy. She's got black hooves. If you see her, please contact Farmer Giles.
It doesn't matter. They can just clone it.
Not a bad shout.
What really bothers me is it says here, powers to order national lockdowns will also end, with sources saying it would instead be up to local authorities to manage outbreaks.
Oy.
So, you know, you could be in Oxford, and the guys would be fine, but, you know, you got to get tested if you want to go to Rumford. You know, one of those things where you should be tested.
I mean, look, I'm pretty hardcore about I think that...
So if you're leaving it up to people within a local, you know, establishment, constabularies, to kind of go, well, maybe we should or shouldn't. Now you have to wear a mask. Now you don't. Now we need a test. You know, now, I mean, we're going to give this out. So I think as soon as... I mean, it's bad enough to have the government kind of dictate this, but when you get it down to a smaller microcosm, at that point, you just kind of go, no.